So Life is Good says, you seem such a balanced and positive person who is just enjoying life and doesn't take anything too serious. You should know me better. How did you accomplish this? Were you always like this, or did you work on yourself? No, I was not like this, and I still got a lot to work on, because we all have. Why? Because we are not constant. The movement of the mind is constant in movement. It's not like, okay, it's now I'm going to change whatever it was, and that change will be subject to nothing. But that change is also subject to change, because my movement of mind, my understanding of life, my vision of how things are, my perception of things is also according to my expansion, development, and knowledge, additional knowledge is changing. So it's a continuous work. You just get more and more advanced in your research, but the research should be on yourself, about yourself, before you can help others, and all through you can work on yourself while you're sharing it with the others as well. So it's a continuous process. It's not like I've arrived to a certain level that I don't need to work. No, it is a continuous process. Everything is new, and depending on what affected you just a minute ago and what frame of mind you are, and if you're still able to keep the mind with infinitely imperceptible decreasing ripples, or you got lots of waves in there, then you will interact with the new thing maybe not as good as you wanted to. So you got to always be aware of how this is working, and to be able to not seek refuge in the images, so you won't deal the issues while you have a certain image. If you abandon the images, then you're free from trying to protect that image that you have of you, in yourself, in your mind, and you will deal with the issue. But while you have an image and you go into negotiation of certain issue in life, whether personal or not, with an image of you, the image is trying to interfere, and you're trying to satisfy you as the image that you have, which will interfere with the way that you would actually deal with the situation if you had no image in your mind at the time. Because the mind seeks refuge in images, and that's why you have different images when you're going through your daily life. As we said before, you go to shop, you have an image of a shopper. Then you abandon that and you go on a bus, you have an image of a passenger. Then you abandon that if you go to classroom, you have an image of student. Then you abandon that when you go to see your parents, you have an image of a daughter or son. You abandon that when you're meeting with your children, you have an image of a father or mother. You have different images, and your mind has no home. It seeks home in the images. But once you learn the mind and body coordination, the art of mind and body coordination, and you will give a home to your mind instead of having it scattered around and think about all sort of things. And every time you want to learn something or study something, you have to collect it from wherever it is scattered to focus it on what you want to learn. Instead, your mind will always be part of you, in your body, like everything else is in your body, and you know where they are. You know where your finger is, you know where your wrist is, your nose, your ears, your eyes. You don't have to look for them. They're always there as part of you. But the mind is the thought mind is the only thing that is not having a home in you. But that's why it's scattered all around, and it seeks refuge and a place, a home in images. And then you deal your life with your image and you. And that becomes giving a chance to ego and everything else. But when you learn where you can give home to your mind in the entity where your eyes and nose and hands and legs and everything else is, then you have mind and body coordination, and then your mind doesn't have to look for images to find home, and you will have a person with probably in most cases with no image. And when you have no image, nothing can hurt you. When you have no image, the ego cannot actually be that active. So these are some things that perhaps you would like to enjoy in one of the books that I have, Me, My Psyche and I, which goes through from chapter 32 to chapter 40. It's all about meditation, mind, and willpower, and so on, and more stuff, and learning about the mind and body coordination, meditation, mind needs a home, and mind seeks truth, and all these things. Plus, of course, another 40 chapters of 50 chapters of different topics in that book. That could be an interesting addition to your library that you might want to enjoy, and of course get it if you haven't yet, while I have it at such a nominal price of what is it, coffee or tea, versus the printed matter version, which is $80 or $100, which is heavy to ship, and that's why the shipping has made it expensive. So if you get that, and you will be able to see, in fact, you can go on my site mind@seekstruth.com and look at click on the book. Each book has a video right beside it. You can see what it is, and then click on the book. You can see the table of contents of the book and what's in there. And then you can click more, and it opens the page, it flips the page, and you can read the sample chapter, and so on and so forth. Anyhow, that is a discussion that you will find more information there, if this was not enough. So, okay. So, short or long was, no, I focused on working on myself, on learning and learning, which I started learning about the movement of the mind in university, in martial art courses of heavy meditation and techniques, and understanding the coordination of mind and body, and the role, the interaction of mind and body, and how they affect each other, and so on. And then through my life and experiences and other things that I learned, and then 5-6 years of heavy concentration on masters who pioneered understanding of their psyche and their thoughts and consciousness, fear, desire, and ego, analyzed it, and this teacher was being approached by all the many important famous psychologists around the world, and physics professors around the world, and being, gave lectures and interviewed by these different entities, and they would gather around him, ask their questions from him, where he had never read anyone else's book, and he had just explored inwardly and found, and he tried to teach us. 100 years ago, 120, 30 years ago, he started teaching that, and that his work has benefited me tremendously. And in combination with what I've learned from his research and pondering on it and analyzing for thousands of hours, literally thousands of hours over many years, and combination of what I had experienced and learned in the martial arts and movement of mind in meditation and so on, and other experiences in life and things that I've written and all that, and then I was able to put them together and bring about these books and be able to work on myself further and share it now with you guys. I think that was good enough answer. Let's see what Joy has to say. Joy says, thank you very much. I feel much more better. Now exams wait for me. I am coming to kick your ass. There we go. That's my boy. There we go. Now on that note, let me see if I can tolerate another sip of this. Ah, wonderful. Wunderbar. Ja, ist ja wunderbar. Oh.